Thank you for staying with us here. We're following the chance of severe storms over the course of the next few days. The multi-day severe weather event starting mainly from Sunday afternoon through Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday across the Central Plains. WeatherNation will have numerous field crews out there covering the following the storms.
And we're going to be breaking down the forecast here in-house, but we want to get the perspective of one of our field correspondents. Meteorologist Logan Poole is joining us now to talk about how in a multi-day severe weather threat you go about even thinking following these storms, because there's such a large geographical area, and as you go day by day, the components and the ingredients are ever changing.
When you have to start making plans so far ahead. Of course, there's a lot of logistical things that maybe our viewers at home don't see. Right now, we're actually prepping our truck, getting the equipment we need in it, and we've been having, internal conversations with you guys in the studios and trying to figure out where do we need to place our people and our resources, because like you said, it's a fairly large geographical area. And our modeling isn't perfect. We feel like we can give very good forecasts, but like we tell people at home, once you start getting out 4 or 5 days in advance, which is what we're looking at for that Tuesday, Wednesday time frame, it's hard to know exactly where to be. So a very complex situation, but we do know that we're going to have the primary ingredients on the table, at least with wind shear, deep moisture, and enough lift to get those thunderstorms started. So we're feeling pretty confident about where we're going to be heading here the next day or so, but we're still going to have to take the next day, just like everyone else, to fine tune exactly where we're going to be stationed up at.
Yeah, you talk about the, coming in, starting off with a wide geographic area. As you get closer to the event, you bring in at least your region, tighten it down a little bit to place yourselves for the event. Now, you've had the opportunity to cover several events so far. We've seen your reports the last several months, even from previous events. How does this one rank in terms of looking ahead for this multi-day event compared to the ones we've had so far yet this year?
Each severe weather setup has its own set of unique circumstances. For example, some of the other storms we've dealt with this year, they've been extremely powerful, but not the most visually discernible moments. So say, for example, the tornado we've seen earlier this year may be wrapped in rain, or in the Ozarks of Arkansas, like just a week or so ago. We've been in Texas where, low population. The thing that concerns me the most about this particular setup is that, we may have some fairly large population centers that see significant impact, and that's something that we've mostly avoided so far this year. We've had very few metro areas impacted by, say, tornadoes, for example. There were a few large cities that did get some damage, like Jacksonville, Alabama, for example, earlier this year. But by and large, cities the scale of like Amarillo, Oklahoma City, Dallas have by and large been missed so far. And that might change with this setup. So something we're very concerned about is the population density is much higher this go around.
And as we look at several days in a row, they can all kind of get jumbled up in your head, and you have to look at what happened yesterday to see what is likely today, and day by day it's all going to change. But earlier you mentioned Tuesday and Wednesday, kind of a focus here, because that's when you start to get a bit farther to the east and when the Gulf is kind of open for business.
Oh, sure. Tuesday and Wednesday. Wednesday in particular, when that big trough starts to lift out and we get a lot of lift in the atmosphere, I think we're going to see some big-time severe weather possible. We can't say exactly what to expect, but I do think that Oklahoma tornado drought may just break at that time. So, they haven't had a tornado yet this year, and come early this week into the middle part of the week, I do suspect that's going to change.
All right, thanks so much to Logan Poole, who is joining us via Skype. We are getting a good look at what he's thinking about. We've got our field crews, him in addition to several others that are already making plans for that multi-day severe weather threat.
That's right. We'll be following this event very carefully over the course of the next several days, and as we have full team coverage of the severe weather event. So be sure to stay with us here on WeatherNation.
We'll be right back.